And this is a fact of the matter. We were really not sure after John flew whether or not there were critters, living critters out there somewhere.
I have the fireflies.
Time. The stuff of life is absolutely everywhere. Comets, the outer solar system, the cold, dark, near vacuum between the stars are all loaded with complex organic molecules, the very sort that you would want to have for the origin of life. We see forming planetary systems everywhere. We know that the evolutionary process is nothing unique to the Earth.
The vast majority of scientists and technologists continue to regard all this as complete nonsense. They may acknowledge that a strange phenomenon exists, but they think that it is not any more worthy of a high priority study now than it was 23 years ago, when the National Academy of Sciences and the University of Colorado released the Condon Report, and I'm old enough to remember. So never has the situation been so clearly polarized. Never has it been harder to do good research. As a scientist, I've come to the conclusion that a genuine UFO phenomenon exists. It is physical, and it is unexplained. Skeptics do not want a serious inquiry on the subject because it would disturb their rational universe, and many advocates of ufology are equally opposed to a serious inquiry because it might show the UFO phenomenon as far more complex, stimulating, awesome, and ultimately important and mysterious than the specific limited version they are presenting today. As Dr. Hynek himself said in October 1976, quote, "I have come to support less and less the idea that UFOs are nuts and bolts spacecraft from other worlds. There are just too many things going against this theory. I think we must begin to re-examine the evidence. We must begin to look closer to home." Yet Allen died without being able to convince his colleagues in astronomy to take a closer look at the data. In recent correspondence, de Vaucouleurs, one of the great contemporary cosmologists and now a member of the US National Academy of Sciences, wrote to me that he was still unconvinced. He felt that UFO reports simply showed what peculiar things human consciousness could do. In so saying, he was only expressing the common scientific consensus on the topic. The truth is that the technological community in general is indifferent to the UFO question. In my observations, official science is not uniformly set against this kind of speculation. The real debate about the phenomenon doesn't have to do with whether or not the phenomenon exists. What scientists question is the ability of modern science to deal with it. In my conversations with my colleagues in technology, that's really what comes across. They agree that there is something out there that's very poorly explained or not explained. In many of those cases, in a surprising number of those cases, if they could come forward with their observations, you would find that these people have themselves observed a number of things. In private conversations with Professor Condon in 1967, I heard him express a similar view. He told me that a study of UFOs was a waste of time, not because the problem didn't exist, but because he thought it was outside the realm of science. I disagree with this view because, as a French astronomer once said, no problem is scientific or unscientific by nature, but only by the way in which it is approached. The challenge here is to construct a rational, testable way to approach the UFO phenomenon.
These unidentified flying objects that appear to display unique characteristics, such as their speed, their rapid maneuvering, and so on, must be studied in the interest of mankind.